In a significant assertion regarding international trade relations, Freeland, the former finance minister of Canada and a candidate aiming to succeed Justin Trudeau as Prime Minister, has articulated a robust strategy in response to potential tariffs threatened by U.S. President Donald Trump. On a recent Monday, Freeland proposed that Canada should compile a retaliation list of goods that would be targeted should Trump follow through on his threat to impose a 25% tariff on Canadian products. This statement has sparked considerable discussion about the implications for both Canadian and U.S. economies, as well as the broader context of international trade dynamics. #The context of tariffs. The threat of tariffs has been a contentious issue in North American trade relations, particularly in the context of the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, which governs trade between the three countries. Tariffs are essentially taxes imposed on imported goods, and they can have far-reaching effects on businesses, consumers, and economies. In this case, Trump's proposed tariffs could significantly impact various sectors within Canada, prompting the need for a strategic response. Freeland's emphasis on a retaliation list underscores the seriousness with which Canada must approach these threats. By identifying specific goods for retaliation, Canada aims to convey the message that tariffs will not only hurt Canadian producers, but will also reverberate back to American exporters who rely on Canadian markets. The retaliation list. A strategic move. Freeland's proposal for a retaliation list is particularly noteworthy because it demonstrates a calculated approach to international trade disputes. The proposed list would encompass products valued at approximately 200 billion Canadian dollars, 139 billion US dollars, targeting key industries in the United States. This strategy is not merely a defensive measure. It is designed to send a clear signal to U.S. exporters about the potential consequences of such tariffs. Freeland stated, "Being smart means retaliating where it hurts." This assertion highlights the importance of precision in targeting specific industries that are likely to feel the impact of Canadian countermeasures. By focusing on goods produced in states like Florida, Wisconsin, and Michigan, Canada aims to leverage the political dynamics within the U.S. to its advantage. The idea is that by hitting key industries, Canadian retaliation could create pressure points that might lead to a reconsideration of the proposed tariffs. Targeted industries and economic impact. Freeland highlighted several industries that would be affected by retaliatory measures, including Florida orange growers, Wisconsin dairy farmers, and Michigan dishwasher manufacturers. Each of these sectors plays a significant role in the local economies of their respective states. For instance, Florida's citrus industry is vital not only for its economic contributions, but also for its cultural significance. Similarly, Wisconsin's dairy industry is a cornerstone of the state's agricultural output, while Michigan's manufacturing sector remains crucial for economic stability. By targeting these industries, Freeland's strategy illustrates an understanding of the interconnectedness of trade and local economies. The goal is to create a ripple effect that could prompt American lawmakers to reconsider the implications of their trade policies. This approach recognizes that economic interests often drive political decisions, and by effectively communicating the potential fallout of tariffs, Canada may influence U.S. policy. The broader implications for Canada-U.S. relations. Freeland's comments come at a time when Canada-U.S. relations are under scrutiny. The relationship between the two countries has historically been strong, characterized by deep economic ties and mutual interests. However, the introduction of tariffs has the potential to strain these relations. Freeland's proposed retaliation list is not just a tactical response. It is an assertion of Canada's sovereignty and an indication that the country will not be passive in the face of economic aggression. The potential escalation of trade tensions could lead to broader implications for diplomatic relations. As both nations navigate these challenges, the need for dialogue and collaboration becomes increasingly important. Freeland's strategy emphasizes the importance of standing firm on trade principles, while also recognizing the necessity of maintaining constructive relations with the U.S. The economic landscape in Canada. In discussing the retaliation plan, it is essential to consider the economic landscape in Canada. The Canadian economy is heavily reliant on trade, with a substantial portion of its exports going to the United States. The potential imposition of tariffs could disrupt supply chains, increase costs for consumers, and impact businesses across various sectors. Therefore, Freeland's approach is not only about retaliation, but also about safeguarding Canadian economic interests. Freeland's statement reflects a broader understanding of the complexities involved in trade negotiations. By identifying specific targets for retaliation, Canada can better prepare itself for potential economic fallout. This proactive stance is essential in a world where trade wars can escalate quickly, affecting millions of workers and consumers. Political ramifications. Freeland's statements also carry significant political weight. As she positions herself as a candidate for Prime Minister, her approach to international trade and relations with the U.S. will be scrutinized by voters. The ability to effectively navigate these challenges could bolster her standing among constituents who prioritize economic stability and growth. Moreover, Freeland's emphasis on targeted retaliation aligns with a broader political narrative that prioritizes national interests and economic security. In an increasingly globalized world, voters are keenly aware of how international policies can directly impact their lives. By advocating for a strong response to U.S. tariff threats, Freeland is appealing to a sense of national pride and economic resilience. Conclusion. In summary, Chrystia Freeland's call for Canada to develop a retaliation list in response to potential U.S. tariffs represents a strategic and calculated approach to international trade relations. By targeting specific industries, Canada aims to communicate the potential consequences of such tariffs, not only for Canadian producers, but also for American exporters. This situation highlights the intricate web of economic interdependence that characterizes Canada-U.S. relations. As Freeland continues her campaign for Prime Minister, her stance on trade will undoubtedly shape public perception and influence political discourse. Navigating the complexities of international trade requires a delicate balance between assertiveness and diplomacy. The outcomes of these negotiations will have lasting implications for both nations, emphasizing the need for constructive dialogue and collaboration in addressing shared economic challenges. As the global economic landscape continues to evolve, the actions taken by leaders like Freeland will be pivotal in determining the future trajectory of trade relations. The interplay between national interests, economic stability, and international cooperation will define the next chapter in Canada-U.S. relations, with potential repercussions felt far beyond the borders of North America.